good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're in a different location. Yesterday I harvested some crops in the evening. So this morning I'm just waiting for the sun to rise up a little bit and then I'll go outside and do some watering. I switched things around yesterday briefly. Just cause, just cause. So I'm just showing you guys my morning routine as it pertains to my garden and housekeeping. Alrighty. So one of the things I do in a day is check my tomatoes. I don't do this every single morning, but sometimes I switch things around like tasks I have to do. So today I'm going to be checking the tomatoes I put in here yesterday, see how they're doing, and if any of them is ready to go. And so far I only see one. Matter of fact, this is going to be used later because I don't need it. I have one in the fridge I need to fill up. I only see really just one right now. So that one's going to go into the Ziploc to complete. Let me show you. Here. So far we have a total of 12 bags. So we're halfway through our goal of 24 bags for the year. Based on my calculation, like I think I mentioned earlier, we do about a bag for every stew rather that we make. We don't just take it and we usually use with tomato paste. That's how we cook our stew. So one bag per stew that we make, and we make like a big pot. So we need about, for my calculation, for 1 year, 24 bags at least. So this is done now, and this is done. I'm going to close it up and go on to the next task. The next task I'm referring to is a task inside the house. The next thing I'm going to do inside the house that's related to the gardening is to go ahead and shred my boxes for my worm bin. What I do is I put the box away in an enclosed area for it to be dark and cool, so it provides the right environment for the tomatoes to turn ripen up completely. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is go to my basement, shred our bedding materials for the worms, and then from there I'm going to go outside and water the plants. By then the sun will be about to wake up, so let's go quickly and move on. We're still in the time frame of 6 to 6:30, so that's all good. Alrighty, so here's my little shredding material for my gardening, for my worms. I made up my mind I wasn't going to get anything extra, buy anything, invest too much in this thing, because it's just a project I'm trying out. And the reason why it's being shredded is so that it can easily break down and convert to compost. Again, these are boxes from like things that you buy online or even from the store. Instead of throwing away the boxes, I just come here, shred it. When it gets full, I take them over to the other side. And this is like an egg crate. I like the softness of it, so that's also good. Also egg crate, egg cartons, you can shred them too. Matter of fact, this one is so soft, I'm not gonna shred it. I'm gonna put it in the shredding container just like that. I did the same thing for the egg crate. I didn't shred the egg crate. This is my worm bin right here. We checked it yesterday, so I'm not gonna check it today. I check my worm bin once a week. But there are no worms in there, so there's no really need for me to be going and poking in around. You know what I mean? So now I just to once a week When my worms come in, I might check it more frequently, but try not to bother them too. Because, like, think about it, the earthworms in the soil that are down there, we're not going around digging and bothering them every day to see if they're doing their work. So why should we do the same? Because that's because they're in a container. So yeah, that's where I store my beddings for my worms. Let me seal it properly so nothing gets in. And if you're not familiar with what a worm bin looks like, this is a worm bin can look like this. Just a regular tote that has been curated specifically for worms. All right, we're gonna go in outside now to do some watering. And if I see anything to harvest, I'll be bringing the harvest in. So let's see. It's 6:15. It's brighter outside now, so whew, there will be light for me to see and possibly some harvest. Let me take the big basket, because the big basket I can combine all my harvest here. I've had this basket for about 3 years now, and it's been good. Let me take my camera stand in case I need it. These are my gadget I take outside every morning. And this little container here, it has like twines, scissors, gloves, just in case I need those things. I always take it out with me. All right. Hope you guys are having a good start of your day. It's Friday, guys. Friday is like always a great thing because the next day is a weekend. But then the weekend should be like, there should be like 2 Fridays, 2 Fridays. Or 3-day weekend. So we could do other things. All right, so I'm going to start from I will start from the end and then come forward when I'm watching my plants. And to drop in the basket here because there is nothing to harvest in this side of my garden, which is my cucumber side. However, I'm going to take this with me in case I need to use a glove. Greetings, Food Forest Permaculture. How are you doing? Where are you joining from? Oh, my hands are too full right now. Okay, I think we're good now. Where are you joining from? All right, I'm going to flip my camera shortly and then show you guys what's going on this side of the garden. I love coming out in the morning because it's cooler. All right, flipping my camera now. I'm going to start watering the plants. Once I'm done watering, I'll come back. But if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I will check it out once I'm done. So this is my okra side. If you are doing the first time, this is an experimental area here. And it's experimental in that the sun doesn't come here full. This is partial sun area. And from my experience, I know that okra likes the full sun, This was an accidental experiment in that when we moved it over here, I had surveyed the area, but I forgot one thing. The shade of the tree behind this right here that you see is different across the board in this wall. So when I was looking at the wall, I was looking at one side of the wall, and I saw it had adequate sunlight, unknowing to me that there was a tree shading this particular area here. So I ended up moving this to this spot here, and then realizing later that was a mistake because sunlight doesn't come here all day, just partially. So I've been checking to see if the okras are going to fruit. Definitely the okras look way smaller than usual. I'm from South Vancouver Island. Awesome. You can see definitely smaller. I'm going to show you my other okra when I get to the other side. Definitely thinner. No flowers, so they're not able to fruit yet. And here's my cucumbers, which is the next area that I'm watering right now. I created these trellis here, not understanding cucumbers at all, right? I was thinking, okay, this my cute little trellis is gonna hold my cucumbers. No, they started growing, 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 growing. See that? Okay, all right. Definitely, the cucumbers grew out of control. There's nothing I could do about it because I didn't prepare for it. All right, and the rate at which the cucumbers are going, we're still trying to figure it. They like sun, exactly. You know what I was gonna say? I understand they like sun though, but I also read that they don't like it when it's too hot either, and they like a lot of water. So I was thinking that this would be a good spot for them because this gives partial sun, and it gets cooler when it gets sun in the morning until like maybe like noontime. Then the hot sun for the day, it misses it here. So I was thinking this would be a good spot for it because it wouldn't have that hot sun area. You know what I mean? Um, but maybe that's not the case. You're saying cucumbers like the sun. So what happens when it gets extremely hot? Do you like cover it or something? Because this one here is growing, but the only problem is I'm not seeing any fruits. I was checking for male and female flowers the other day. I made a video of it. Mixing several times a day. Got you, got you. Okay, lesson learned. I guess cucumbers might not be something I will grow in my garden because I just don't have the space for it. Um, it's just something because the area that I have for like the area that I have specifically for gardening full sun kind of crops is very, very small. Not super, super small, but it's not big enough for the cucumbers because the cucumbers take up a lot of space. So this is the area I'm referring to. The water has damaged the leaf as okay. So I guess they're very sensitive to chlorine because I use the same water for my tomatoes and everything. So when I'm watering my tomatoes on this side, I do it from the outside. It's just easier for me. And I try to get to the roots. My tomatoes, actually, I have a tomato jungle. I call it tomato jungle or forest. You know, um, I overcrowded the tomatoes this year a little bit. And then I was trying the method of not pruning them just to see how they go. I pruned the bottom side, so that I could see the roots to water them. But I didn't prune it. I didn't keep on pruning the suckers and stuff like that. So it grew out of control. And then the storms, we had several storms here. And the storm kind of pushed them aside, fell them over. You can see over here the cage has bent over. My husband put some stakes over there to help because they were literally falling over to this side. I couldn't pass through it. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that even for the worms. By the way, I started keeping preparing to keep worms, and I was told to get dechlorinated water, and I'm like, okay. I started the worm stuff with the intent not to spend more money. So I was told that for the dechlorinated water, if I already created a bed with regular tap water, I should leave it open for 24 hours to get rid of the chlorine. So yeah, you know what I'm going to be doing? I think I'm going to start collecting rainwater because letting water sit for an hour and then coming to water it later, it just seems like too much work. I'm kind of person I don't like this. I like to work, but like when something becomes like extra because I'm so busy, then I don't have time for that. So what I think it might be better if I just collect rainwater. Collect rainwater. You said food forest permaculture. What do you do? I like the name of your username. It's very interesting, and you seem very knowledgeable about plants. But right here, you guys. You guys are seeing right here are my tomato plants. I have different types of indeterminate tomatoes, meaning that as you guys can see, they're growing and growing and growing, and they will continue growing to the end of the season, the summer season, that is, and continue using till the end of the season. So with that, that's a good thing because throughout the whole season you have harvest. However, you also have to be either pruning them or be okay with them just growing and growing, like you see there. And I personally, I'm not okay with that. So next year, I'm going to be pruning the suckers so that I can see where I'm going. I go, oh wow, that is awesome. So what kind of fruit? But shh, don't say anything. All right, I got 6 more minutes left. I still have to water my pepper plants and my jute. So let me guys show you my garden eggs. This is my first time growing garden egg. Do you guys see that right there? This right here is garden egg. And technically, I feel like you should have done better. But because these tomatoes took over it, tomato took over my plant, beans was planted in the wrong place. This is what happens, guys. But somehow, the garden is finding a way to thrive, okay? They are surviving some way or the other. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just go in here and water. These are my pineapples that I started growing, I think 2 months ago. Yeah, from Pineapple Head. And they're growing very well. My only concern now, which maybe Food Forest can help me with this, is that we have winter over here. And I don't know how, I mean, theoretically, I can see how I can make it survive. But practically, if I take it indoors, I don't know if it will survive. If that makes sense. Like theoretically, I know I'm gonna use grow light in it. I'm gonna leave it in my garage and use grow light. But should I put a heat mat over it? The pineapple I just showed you. Food Forest, that pineapple. If I was to grow it, of course I have to take it indoors in the winter. Do I put a heat mat at the bottom so that it can grow? How do I take care of it indoors? Do you have are you familiar with caring for pineapples? If so, please share, because I would want to. I want to make sure this. I want to see a pineapple grow in my lifetime, but that I grow by myself. So back so you guys can see me here. Okay, figs, apples, pears, melon. Wow, wow, wow. I'll definitely want to try to plant an apple tree next year. This right here you're seeing right here is beans, pinto beans. That was the first time of growing pinto beans. And I put this trellis that you're seeing here. I put it this year in my garden. And the plan was to have something grow across it so it looks beautiful. And when I started researching about pinto beans, I was told that pinto beans is a bush bean. Okay, so I moved my pinto beans to another location, only to find out later on that it was a trellis pinto beans. So it started trellising over my peppers and my okra. But thankfully, I kept one here, and the one I kept here is doing fine. They're at different stages right now. Let me show you. Some of them are still trying to, are growing, and some of them are almost ripe. This is what it looks like when it's ripe. When it turns completely brown and you shake it and it shakes, that means it's ready for harvest. So that's what I learned about beans. I wanted to grow something that was dry that can store for a long period of time. So in cases of food crisis or whatever, I have something stored up. That was the whole idea, as well as just something different that I've never tried before, grown before. So yeah. So yesterday I harvested some tomatoes and everything I needed to harvest. Take 3 years. And yes, lift it off the ground. Bean are great, thank you. So are you saying the way I'm putting it on the ground is not right? I should lift it off the ground? Why did you say that? I want to know. Where do I put it if I don't put it on the ground? Let me move you guys. If I don't put it on the ground, where should I put it? By the way, yesterday I took out my one tomato plant that was here, that was 90% dead, but for some reason was still using, crops. But then it was just blocking me from seeing other things, so I took it out finally yesterday, picked the remaining tomatoes that was left on it, and called it a day. And I'm happy I did that, because now I feel like I can see. Alright, let me show you guys my okra. These are my okra right here. It was pushed over by the storm. And okra don't typically, storm was so, sorry guys. I teach earthlings to make soil and ground stays cold, so put people on top of a upside down bucket. Okay, I'll do that. I have a question about this one. If you see like my beans right here, look, they're dying. Do you see they're dying? But they have some crops. So my question is, since they're dead, can I just pick the bean pod and leave them to dry out on the sun and pick them, or should I leave them on the leaves on the plant? What do you think? Let me know if you heard my question. I'll get a bucket for my pineapple and flip them over. Actually, I actually have 2 buckets that I can do that. So thank you for that tip. All right, it's almost time for me to go. I'm going to wet my pepper plant, get my juice, and then I'll be gone. Show you guys. These are my pepper. Oh, I hear a bee. Guys, I'm trying to move. You guys so you along with me. So right here are my pepper plant. These are ghost pepper. Let me see if I can take you guys closer. Flip. Yeah, beans are nitrogen packed. Yes, they are. That's why I planted them beside my tomatoes. So they're good companion plants for tomatoes and peppers too. So these are my ghost peppers. So yeah, I have a question. My question for you, food forest permaculture, was that the beans here is 6:32, so I'm a little bit late. Can you see that they're dead? Should I pick the bean pod, right? Pick the bean pod and leave it to dry in the sun, because I want the dry beans, or should I leave them on the plant and they're gonna dry out there? That's my question. From your experience, that's, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, that's okay. These are my cayenne pepper, guys. Cayenne pepper. Some of them are red, but not completely red. So I just wait for them to. I want to wait for them to turn completely red. I almost kissed the bee. Oh, a bee almost kissed me. One of the. All right. All right. So I'm done inside here. I'm just going right now and just doing a quick one here. Because I'm almost out of time. I have 3 more minutes to spare. But if you can, if you're still there, food culture, let me know what you think about my beans that I showed you, because I really want to. I don't want to miss it. I planted about 6 bean plants. That's my okra, experimental okra. I was trying to grow the okra in a bucket, but for some reason, a lot of it died. I don't know exactly why. It wasn't doing so well, but it's a 5-gallon bucket too. So at least minimally it had a good, you know what I mean? So I don't know exactly what happened with my beans. Anyways, these are my pepper areas. Oh, there are more of them turning over here. Few ghost peppers. Ghost pepper come in different variety of colors, which is pretty cool. And they're so flavorful. Very, very flavorful. I love ghost pepper flavor. It's super hot though. It's really, really hot. Very, 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 very hot, guys. Super hot and spicy. So you just you don't put a lot. If you're not someone that can take a lot of hot, don't put a lot of it. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys to my last spot here. My pineapples, I don't water them every day because I believe they're tropical plants and they're not would I say water loving. So that's how I've been doing my pineapple, and they've been doing fine. I don't water them every day, but when the soil looks very, very dry, that's when I water them. And over here is my jute, which is my spot. The water pipe got hooked, so I need to fix it. But here's my jute, which is my last spot where I plant my stuff, jute and rosemary. And this area here is partial sunlight, and I found that jute doesn't like jute. This particular jute specifically, I don't know, there are different types, but this jutes, they don't like full sunlight. They like partial sunlight. And I know this from experience because I put this jute in my main garden that I just shared with you guys, and they were closing up their leaves for like weeks, and I couldn't figure out why they were doing that. Here's my rosemary. I only water this like every other day or something. I don't water my rosemary very often because just like pineapples, they're not water loving and they like loose drainage soil. So the thing about my jute, right, I noticed not only that they don't like full sunlight, full sun, that is like 8 hours of sun. They like partial sun, and then also they like loose or slight. Okay, my connection went away. Sorry guys, my connection went indoor, guys. With the method I used, I had so many sprouts, lots and lots of sprouts. I literally had to give away a lot of jute leaves, like jute seedlings rather, because it was so much. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect it to be that much. It was so much jute leaves. I gave a lot away and I still had more. So when I made a mistake, but it's like God knew that I was going to mess up my jute because I made a mistake growing them in my main garden area. And when I did that, they were closing off. They were not growing. And it wouldn't make sense for me to move the tiny seedlings to another spot. So I had a lot of seedlings, like I said. So I had to uproot those seedlings. And where you guys saw the okra, that was where the jute was. And it just wasn't doing well. So when I moved them over to that side, it had very sandy soil, but I mixed it up with some other soil that I got, like that was filled with worm castings. And then I put it there, and within like a week or two, they started doing so well. And then the one that was inside a bag that I left in my fenced area, it was still closing up like this. So I moved it over to that side and it started growing. That's how I knew that they don't like full sun. Because remember, I didn't intentionally test it but I found it out when it was over there in that bag that had the same soil as this area. It still wasn't doing well, but when I moved that bag over to the area that had partial sun, then it started growing. You see that? So that's how I knew, one, it likes soil that is loose, not too compact, and then two, it doesn't like full sun. So if you're interested in growing jute, which is very good for as a good antioxidant, is good for your toddlers and infants, jute, then definitely Jute, that's how you spell it. Look into it if you have babies and see the benefit of jute. It's really, really good. It's rich in iron also. So, and you know, kids need iron. Babies need iron. When I say kids, I mean babies. They need iron to grow. So that's something that you can look into growing. Jute, check it out. People drink it raw. What I do is when I get it, I wash it and then I blend it and put it on the fire, let it cook for like 15 minutes or less, and it's done. Then I eat it with African yam that is pounded, like flour that's been finely grounded, and I just turn it like that and I give it to my son, and he loves it. It's really healthy. And then also sometimes I put okra, because I'm growing okra. I put okra, I blend all of it together, and that's how I give him. It's very rich in iron. All right, guys, that's it for today. Now I've got to go to my next task, which is to get the kids ready for the day. Happy Friday, and thank you so much, Food Forest. I'll take into account the things that you mentioned and shared with me to help my pineapple. All right, I hope to see you in the next one. And definitely, let me see if I can, I don't know, take a snapshot of your name so I can check you out. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Have a good